friends, and welcome to another Obnoxious Goth video clip. And today I'm going to be playing an older game. I'm going to be playing Fallout 4. But not for any reason to show you around Fallout 4 like you've never seen it before. To show you how to maximize your gaming experience. Now that everyone's stuck inside, as you can see in the corner of the screen, it says we've put together a massive mod showcase for the people sheltering in place. Well, Fallout 4 is a game that has hundreds of hours of gameplay built into it. You might be familiar with it. For games like Skyrim and things, it's from the same creators. It's very similar, in fact, except if you haven't played Fallout, let me just give you the rundown really quickly. Fallout 4 is a game where you are the sole survivor of a nuclear apocalypse. At least, you're called the sole survivor, but you're not the only one who lived through it. However, you are the only one that wasn't really, truly affected by the blast itself. You are in the Vault. You're in Vault 111. And in the Vault, you are protected from the radioactive fallout. However, you are frozen for 200 years. 200 years, oh my gosh. You're cryogenically frozen, as every vault is actually a social experiment put on by the scientists who created the company Vault-Tec. So, nuclear explosion, nuclear holocaust wipes out the entire world, and you are in this vault. Now, while you're in the vault, unfortunately, your child is kidnapped, your wife is killed, and you have no idea why. So, once you wake up and you are unfrozen, supposedly 10 years after you are unfrozen, you wander out into the wasteland looking for your son with no hope and really no idea what to do, where to start. And along your way, it's an open world game, a massive open world game. You're going to run across characters and all sorts of different side quests and settlements for you to explore, and all sorts of factions. Now that I've explained to you the game, I'm going to show you how to maximize your experience while playing Fallout using some of these mods here. Now, mods can pretty much do everything. There are some mods that will slow your game down too much. Really, a game like Fallout needs to be played on the PC. I feel like a very powerful PC to get everything out of it. However, I am playing on the PlayStation 4. Some of these mods may not be available on the PC or the Xbox, but this is going to be the PlayStation 4 version. But some of these mods may, in fact, be available on those systems. So without further ado, let me continue my game here. We're going to jump in. And there are two different types of mods, let me say that. There are mods that can adjust the appearance of the game, and there are mods that can affect the entire gameplay to a point where it's almost not fun anymore. So there are mods that help you cheat, and there are mods that really just maximize your experience. I try and stay away from the cheating mods. You can, of course, mod it to where you have a cheat room full of the most powerful weapons in the game, and there's no chance anybody could ever fight you, but well, that kind of ruins the experience of the game, if you ask me. So I went through and picked the mods that are least likely to crash your game and most likely to enhance your experience without changing the game in a sense. Without changing the game completely or wrecking the game or changing it to the highest extent. Now, there are some mods that you can use to get like houses that you couldn't actually live in the game. You can get guns that you can't actually get in the game that aren't overpowered, and you can get companions as well that you can't normally get. However, I chose just a few mods, and I will show them to you here. So this is the home base, the first base that you... Okay. So I really don't know how that happened. I think one of the mods I downloaded and deleted may have broke my game a little bit, but that cow's been on the roof for some time. Yes, I can't seem to get him down, and I don't want to kill him because the store person's around here somewhere, and she'll get a little cranky at me. So without further ado, let me show you the few mods that I've downloaded to enhance my experience in Fallout. Now, as you can see, my character is wearing a pretty neat little coat there. One of the factions in the game, the Brotherhood of Steel, is a military faction that is seeking to wipe out all the harmful enemies in the Commonwealth, such as super mutants or robots or those Feral you'll run across that are highly irradiated humans. And the Brotherhood of Steel's leader has a really nice coat. It's actually this coat, and well, I noticed I really like his coat, but I don't exactly want to kill him for his coat, which is the only way you can actually get it in the game. So I went in and found a mod where I can actually craft Mason's battle coat here, and it is actually a pretty good coat. But let's go to the mod screen here, and I'm going to show you the other mods that I have downloaded to maximize my experience in this game. Now, when I say maximize the experience, there are some... Oh, of course, let me explain this first one. Okay, so you might see this very first mod here called Busty, and you might think I'm some sort of pervert that wants to change the size of the cans of all the female players. Well, indeed, although it does change the breast size of some of the females, it also increases the body size of the men and the women to where, if you've ever played a game where you're creating players, sometimes the shapes don't exactly work. I'm going to reference some of the, if you've ever played the WWE wrestling video games, when you're making characters, you'll notice that the females are all extremely skinny and flat-chested, and the men are all unproportionally huge. Well, this mod can not only change the breast size of the females, but it can also make them to where the body size of the females changes depending on how they look and gives them a little more character. It also changes the breast size of the men to where you have a little more, chest, I should say. So that's just a little mod. It really has nothing to do with the game. It's just one that I like it. And it'll show you that some of the... It has a little description of the mods on the sides. So yes, I do use that mod. It's not for any perverted reason, but it does make the characters, the men and the women, look a little more human. Now the second one is being able to carry as much as you want. One of the most frustrating things in Fallout is going to be having to drop things or having to sell things to make room for other things that you can't carry. And I understand. But in a game where there's so much to pick up and so much to get, you don't want to have to keep having to travel back to your base and ruin your experience, or in the middle of a quest, go back to your base to drop all your items or give them to your companion. Now, sometimes I like to travel by myself without a companion, so I downloaded this mod. It doesn't cheat the game in any way. You just can carry as much as you want. So it's very helpful if you want to try and collect as many things as you can without having to travel back to base every 5 seconds. This mod will allow you to carry as many things as you want without a weight limit. Now, if you exceed the weight limit in the normal game, you will walk a lot slower, and you will find it difficult to fight when you're over encumbered, such as. This one is the most important if you want to enhance your gameplay experience, in my opinion. So let me go into my building thing really quick. So one of the things in this game, one of the coolest things, this is the settlement that you first get when the game starts. The Minutemen give you the option of, and the Minutemen are the National Guard. The National Guard gives you an option to create settlements for your civilians that you help rescue, and to give them a home, and to build houses. Now, they're not going to be nice houses, as this is the apocalypse. I mean, it's not going to, it's not like I can build like a brand new house or anything, but I can make a nice little settlement. You'll see here, I've wired up all these electric lamps. All the houses have power. This is one that I built from scratch. So you go in here, there's some beds, there's a nice little chair, there's pictures on the walls, there's a little radio downstairs that's playing music. So the problem with this is the building mechanic. Now I'm going to go into the builder here, and you see that I have the option to build many different things. So I can build actual structures, I can build special things like artillery, robot creation station. I can, and that's one of the add-ons actually that you can buy for the game. I can build structures made of wood or metal or warehouses, or I can build furniture. I can build decorations. It's very immersive. It's very, it lets you kind of pick to do anything that you want to do. You can build defenses and turrets. You can build food and water resources. You can build little stores. You can build crafting tools. There's all sorts of things you could build. However, if I go in here and I want to build something, as you can see in the corner there, it says this is what it takes to build a machine gun turret. It takes 8 pieces of steel, 1 piece of circuitry, 2 gears, and 2 things of oil. Now the problem you're going to run into is, well, how do you get all those ingredients? You ask? Well, you have to go find them in the wasteland. So imagine, and I know anyone who has played Fallout and is familiar is going to be very frustrated with the fact that you have to walk out in this map. Let me show you the map. As big as this map is, you have to find resources throughout this map to build every single piece of equipment that you see before you. To build these structures, to build the electrical wires, to build the beds, to build everything that you see here, you have to collect the proper ingredients. Well, therefore, you'll find yourself, instead of just running through buildings, crushing enemies, really focusing on the story, focusing on, oh man, when I get to this guy, I'm going to take him out and make him pay. Instead of focusing on that, you find yourself focusing on trying to scavenge for everything you can find so that you can build your settlement. Well, with the mod I've shown you here, it actually bypasses your need to go find these ingredients and gives you the unlimited ingredients for everything. It gives you 999,000 of all the resource items. So, when you go in here, you'll see under resources, you'll go to miscellaneous, and it will say shipment of everything. So you click. Now there's a shipment of everything, so it seems to have molded into the ground. Okay, we're going to put it here. So you see the shipment of everything. You hit scrap, and it gives you 999,000 of everything. So that way you can build whatever you want without worrying about the resource needs. Now you might think, well, isn't that cheating? Because now you no longer have to find the items that you need to craft anything. You could just craft unlimited things, therefore bypassing the game. That's not exactly true, and let me show you why. Yes, it gives you unlimited resources. However, let's go to the workbench here. Please move. Let's say I want to edit this pistol. Well, you go to the barrel here, and on the side you see there where it says required rank. Well, you still have to level up and get the perks necessary to build the items that you'd like to build. So yes, it does give you the unlimited ingredients to build whatever you'd like, but it still requires you to level up your character and get the proper perks necessary to build said items. So it's not exactly like I can just jump in and build everything I want, even the stuff that I haven't unlocked yet. I have to unlock everything and level up, so that still leaves the actual game part, the adventurous part of the game for me, to go level up and find everything, find all the perks I need to build. However, I don't have to run around like this and scavenge and find everything and then come back and build one piece of equipment and then go find everything else. And you see what I mean? And especially if you don't have the carrying mod, that's going to be a frustrating experience. It's going to ruin the gaming experience for the most part, because instead of focusing on the quests and the story, you're too focused on finding an alarm clock that you can scrap to build some lights. Who wants to do that? I mean, I don't. There are a lot of mods you could use to make Fallout more immersive. However, I like the game as it is, and I really, with my PlayStation, instead of being on a PC, I don't really want to slow my system down anymore. So this is the mod to craft the battle coat that I talked about before, the coat that I'm wearing. The next thing I'm going to show you is pre-walled settlements. Now, you won't see a wall in the settlement that I'm at now, but one of the most frustrating things is building walls to protect your settlements. With a settlement that is this big, each settlement has a size. As you can see when I press the workshop button, in the top right corner there, there's a little square that says size of the settlement. If the settlement gets too big and there's too many items, it'll start glitching out or running slower just because of the size of the game. So you want to keep your settlement at a reasonable size. The problem is these walls take up so much size and it's frustrating to try and build them. So let's say I want to build a wall around the settlement. Watch. I'd have to do that all the way around this huge settlement if I wanted to put walls up. Now you might ask, why would I put walls up at all? Well, some settlements are smaller and they're in crappier places. This is a good place for a settlement. It's not in the middle of the wasteland where there's a lot of enemies, and there's also a lot of highly defensible characters here. However, some settlements are smaller and they're in terrible, violent parts of the wasteland where you'll want to have your people protected. So, with that mod, you will have walls pre-built around your settlement, and I will show you... Ooh, that settlement's kind of pissed at me. I'll have to see why. Either way, you can actually have these walls pre-built around your settlement so that you don't have to build the walls yourself. I'll now show you an example of that. And these walls are a little strange. Sometimes the characters will try and fight people through walls. The enemies will try and phase through them and won't know how to get into the settlement. But it hasn't really posed a problem to me yet. But it does actually deflect bullets, is the main important part. So you'll see here, this is the wall that comes with my settlement. I like these floating rocks here. That's pretty neat. Nice little glitch. You will run into glitches in this game because it's so big. But these walls come pre-built onto my little settlements like Sanctuary back there. So I didn't have to build this. This came pre-built into the settlement here. And the cool thing is, before you discover a settlement, if you walk up and you see one of these walls, that will let you know that that's a place where you can... So let's say you're wandering around and I'm going to do a quest over here, and I look and I go, oh, hey, there's walls here, but I don't have a settlement. Calm down, Kate. I don't have a settlement built here yet. Well, what do? I left a suit of power armor here. Look at that.
Yeah.
So that will let you know that this is a settlement that you can build in. So I really do like those pre-walled settlements. Let's go back here to Sanctuary, and I will show you the other mod that I have. Now the thing is, it's really up to you what kind of mods you create, what kind of mods you want to add to your game. And there are, like I said, the list is almost endless. However, I'm just showing you the mods that are the base mods that I would use to make this game more fun without changing the game completely. There are some cool houses you can get as well, where you can mod your own little house. I don't really find the need for that. You really do have a house at the beginning of this game anyways, and you can continue to use it for your own use here. So this is the house that you originally have in the game. I store some power armor frames and some other things on my little bed there. Got that really cool Nuka-Cola body armor. Got my little bobbleheads that I've collected. You know, I've got a little couch and stuff I can sit on. So let me go back to the mod page here. So like I said, these mods will help enhance your gaming experience in Fallout 4. At least without changing the game too much. So you really want to get, even if you leave out some of the other ones like the Battle Coat or the Busty mod, you definitely want to download the All You Can Carry, the Unlimited Resources, and the Pre-Walled Settlements. Those are the three things I think will really enhance your gaming experience in Fallout without changing the game too much. Now the last thing I downloaded just recently was Doc's Armored Clothing, and it's only for women as of this point, but well, I'm trying to find a male version, so I'm going to look around in the mods thing. Now you see these dresses and things like that. You'll see a lot of the characters in Fallout are wearing these terrible outfits that they've found around the wasteland. And you can't really do anything about it. You can find some armor and things, and you can go to your armor workbench here, armor them up to the highest extent once you unlock the ability to create it. and then you can give it to them and have them equip it. But it still looks terrible. So you want to, let's say you want to make your characters look a little more human, and you want to give them nice clothing to wear. For example, I gave him a Nuka-Cola outfit I found. I gave her a dress. She's wearing a really, really nice dress that I made. She's wearing a fancy suit. I don't think I've met you yet. You're wearing pretty much the same stuff.
Ain't looking for trouble, I hope.
See, she's wearing a nice, like, gothic dress. So what this does is it actually lets you create clothing when normally you couldn't by going to the chemistry station here. So it'll have its own thing here, Doc's Armored Clothing. You go in, and let's say I want to build a corset for Kate over there. Now you build this corset, which normally you couldn't do in this chemistry station. And you can go over here, and you can go to the corset, and you can actually make the damage resistance so that it's 200 armor. Now, if you don't want to cheat, or you don't want to make your characters, you know, less or more powerful, you can make it a little lower. You can make it normal clothing, but really this can only affect the characters you give it to. And 200 armor sounds like a lot, but it's really not when you get into the game. Kate has still gone. Well, I guess she just disappeared. Oh, there you are. Kate has gotten into a lot of fights where she's been down recently, so it's not like it makes them invincible. And as you look, like I was talking about with that Busty mod, Kate does have a little bit of a figure instead of being a skinny, frail little girl that she was before. Same with some of these other female characters, where before they kind of didn't have a shape to their body. Now they have a little more shape. They look a little more human. And if you look at my character, he's a little bigger as well. He's a little more built, for sure, because of that mod. So those are the few mods I would recommend. Now, as far as everything else, I would recommend that you get the add-ons as well. That's a given, just because they give you a lot more areas to explore. But as far as the perks, you definitely want to level up first. You'll want to level up Gun Nut, which gives you access to more gun mods. The Armorer mod gives you access to increased armor mods, and the Blacksmith and everything. So you want to level up the mods that let you actually create the items I was talking about earlier. You also want to get this big cap collector one. It'll help you get cheaper items at stores, and it'll also help you build stores for your settlement that raises their happiness. And you can use the Fortune Finder one as well to find even more money hidden amongst the crates in Fallout. You can also level up the science ones to make your laser guns better, and the local leaders so that you can build more things in your settlement. The robot expert helps if you have the mechanic add-on, where you can actually build your own robots, and you can make these robots pretty insane, honestly. So just a short little video to show you the mods that I use in Fallout to make the game more fun without actually cheating. And let's say you don't like the coat, but you want a different type of attire or a different haircut for your character. Well, you can definitely do that as well. And like I said, there are tons of different things. So my character's hair is actually part of that mod, where it's sort of like a modern day haircut with a little hard part there, just to make him look a little more human, a little more how I want him to. And again, these are mods that I use, just a few of them, so that you don't break the game and you don't really cheat, but you add a little more things to the game to make it a little less tedious and a little more on the fun side. So that's my video. Again, I'll go over the mods one more time with you that I used, at least the 3 that I think you should definitely use. Now, if you're creating a female character to go through Fallout, you definitely want to get this Busty mod so that you get a little more shape to your character, indeed. You don't want to be walking around like a starving, wastelander. You want to be walking around like a strong warrior, indeed. You want to get the all-you-can-carry mod, which definitely helps you. You can carry unlimited items so that you don't have to keep going back and dropping things in your main base. You can get the unlimited resources so that you don't have to be scavenging for all the equipment you need just to build, one light bulb or anything like that. and the pre-walled settlements. You definitely want to get that so that your characters are always protected, and you'll see the settlements on here that are protected by the walls. Pretty much all of them, except a few here or there. And the armored clothing ones, I'm going to try and find a man one. But especially if you have a female character and you don't want to wear any of the goofy armor they have in the game. I mean, some of this armor just makes you look like a clunky mess. So if you want to create nice like female clothing and go through the game like that while continuing to have armor, as you know, Kate's corset right there that she's wearing doesn't have much armor until I gave her an armored one. So I'd have to bulk her up with a bunch of armor and things like that. Instead, I decided to armor her clothing with that mod. So those are just a few of the mods you can use to make Fallout a little easier. And of course, you can get the add-ons. That way you can go to Nuka World and you can go to Far Harbor and have a little more adventure. But feel free to leave me a comment or anything if you want to know a little more about mods, or you have you want recommendations on where to go, what to do. I've got some pretty cool weapons that I found just laying around that are some legendary weapons. But you could probably find all that on YouTube anyways. But anyways, those are the mods that I would recommend to make Fallout a little more fun if you're stuck inside and you need something to do for hours on end. Fallout 4 is definitely still a game that will give you hours of enjoyment if only you have the mods to make it a little more fun. So again, leave some recommendations if you'd like, but I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope to make more videos soon that you will find mildly entertaining. Enjoy your day, my friends.